Welcome everybody to another QB Power Hour. Today's topic is simplify your life, automate your work. And I know we all can love this title today because this is something can truly help us turn hours to minutes that you'll hear about a little bit later. So we're very glad to have you joining us today. We've got some great content coming up. But you guys are really in for a treat today because Autymate can truly transform your life and literally turn hours of work into minutes. And so that also we can do things for our clients that will save them significant amounts of time as well. All right, so Dan, I see you've got my bio slide. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, I am Michelle Long. I'm a CPA with an MBA in entrepreneurship, the owner of Long for Success, longtime contract trainer for Intuit, and I love going around and meeting you all in various cities around the U.S., as well as I've gone across Canada and to London and Australia and love training you all no matter where you're at. So we're very glad to have you join us. If you want more practice with QuickBooks, remember we just updated the QuickBooks Online practice set. You can find that available on Amazon. Dan, my partner I could not live without.
Well, hello, everyone. My name's Dan DeLong. I'm with Dan Witt. So if you don't have enough bandwidth, you need some Dan Witt. I originally, for the past almost couple decades, I worked at Intuit in the tech support side of the house, really proficient in all things in the Intuit ecosystem, and I just finished technically editing QBO for Dummies, the 5th edition. And when I went to Scaling New Heights, I bumped into a couple guys there, and I was just blown away because one of the things that I really want to do in my business is transform businesses through technology, whatever that happens to be, whether it's, in QuickBooks or with their website, or just really make things simple so that they can focus on their business. And I bumped into to Brian with Autymate, and just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about him. He's going to introduce some of the other folks on the call as well. But I was just blown away with what Autymate really is. And Brian, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Autymate?
Yeah, so we started about 6 years ago, and we started doing some complicated stuff in healthcare. And we basically automated a bunch of EHR stuff. And then we got into the accounting and finance. We took the tech that we did for basically integration challenges in the healthcare space, and took that into the Intuit market, and we won the Shark Tank last November. And right now we will specialize in helping CPA and accounting firms organize their data from all the different systems that they have. We are a simple platform, and we look forward to introducing it to you. So
yeah, and the theme of Scaling New Heights being a transformative advisor, I mean, it resonated with me, but the more and more I talked to you guys, it really just kind of resonated with that. I mean, this is like a game changer type of thing in that space. And you got a pal with you there. So who do you have with you?
So I've got Brad here with me. He's our Chief Operating Officer. He's worked with a lot of SaaS companies and helping them grow, and he's been really instrumental in focusing on our app roadmap, which we plan on launching about 15 different apps in the next year and a half, leveraging our platform. So he's been guiding and directing us, and he's been a huge player in our team. But he's also a lawyer, and he's got a lot of experience in the accounting space as well.
Awesome. And he's going to be answering some of the questions. So as you guys start to as we talk a little bit more about what Autymate can do, and go into a little demonstration of one of the apps, you'll be able to ask those questions in the chat or in the question box, and Brad will be there to field those questions as well. So awesome. Thank you guys both for joining us. So
before we move on, I just have one more clarification. So Brian, you mentioned that you won the Shark Tank last November. Can you kind of explain what that was for people?
Yeah, it was for the QSP program, and basically just the best up and coming company with an application in the QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop space. And so basically the high up and into it were the panelists, and so we had some of the big wigs there, and we were competing, and we won. So
it's quite an honor. So thank you. You mentioned it really quickly, but it does really help you all. It helps, I guess, to prove how wonderful Autymate is. Dan and I know that, and obviously the others agreed with us when you all won that. So I think that's a great honor. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about that. So thank you. Okay, a couple more admin details, and then we're going to turn it over to them so you all can learn about this wonderful tool. We're going to remind you the power hours are every other Thursday for the most part. Our next one will be October 3rd. As you know, our topics are generally QuickBooks tips, what's new, troubleshooting, but we also cover things like marketing and value pricing and other topics to help you with practice management for growing your practice and just doing a better job, as well as helping you learn about amazing tools and apps that can help you and help your clients like Autymate. As a reminder, you can get the slides for the whole year at that URL right there. The recordings will be there. And now we also have this available in podcast. So if you're not available to watch the recording, you can listen to it as you're commuting to work or whatever. We have Dan to thank for getting that done for us and figuring out. I am so happy to have him as my partner because he's able to do this stuff and take care of it. So I love that that's available. Now, the handouts are not there right now, but as Brian's talking, I'm going to take care of that and get the handouts for today uploaded there as well as in the GoToWebinar toolbar.
Click. There we go.
And as a reminder, upcoming events. I wanted to remind you about the QuickBooks Roadshow or the Intuit Roadshow. We are coming to various cities all across the U.S. We're going to be doing Intro to QuickBooks for the first month or so. Then we're switching over to Core and Advanced Certification. Then we have some amazing courses that we put together, and we did them last year. Well received. Everybody raved about them, so we're doing them again this year. We're doing Grow Your Practice workshop, talking about helping you to grow your practice, and we got great exercises to help you with, identifying your services, your pricing packages, and things like that. We also have a master class, so if you want to get in and go techie and get more details on working with QuickBooks, as well as a master class on your practice and how to transform your practice, those are great sessions. So go to that URL link. I'll show you how to access it in 1 second. We will be in cities all across the U.S., East Coast, West Coast, North, South. We're going everywhere. So we'd love to have you join us. And then, as always, we'd love to have you join us for QuickBooks Connect. There's great flight sales right now on Southwest Airlines. You can fly into San Jose or San Francisco. We'd love to have you join us there. Next.
I'm totally stoked with Southwest finally doing direct flights from Tucson to San Jose.
Isn't that great? Yeah, I've got direct for Southwest directly to San Jose as well. So I love that.
Awesome.
All right, go ahead and go to the next one. I think we're almost done. Oh, there's a slide here that shows you when you go to QBTrainingEvents.com, down at the bottom, you'll see they have free webinars every single month on a variety of topics. In the middle where it says in-person training, that's where you can go look, see what cities we're coming to, book a cheap flight on Southwest Airlines if we're not close to you. We're going to be down where it's nice and warm in December, like Miami, I think, or Orlando, or Houston. We'd love to have you come to some cities and join us for some of those. And then they have a virtual conference almost every single month. So go to that QBTrainingEvents.com and check some of those out. Okay, as we go to the next one, the agenda, we're going to learn from Brian. We're going to learn about Autymate, what it is, what it can do, and how we can automate these processes and save, like they say, hours of time transformed into minutes. Then we're also going to get a demo. Brian's going to go in and actually show us the Autymate transactions for QuickBooks Online. So he's going to go in and actually show us a few things that help you to see how truly easy it is. That's the thing that impressed me the most. I'm not a techie. I'm not as geeky as Dan is, but It's truly amazing how user-friendly it is. And I think that's a game changer because it makes it easy for people like me, that want to do something but don't have that technical deep knowledge. So, Brian, do you want to go ahead and take it over? Thank you.
I am honored here to present. I appreciate this opportunity. We exist as a company. I always like to start with a vision. We exist as a company to help you and accountants and CPA firms to organize their clients' data to get things done. And we exist to be the easiest way to do that. You can look at us as the universal translator for building connected applications. You might be asking, what does that mean? Hopefully, some of you guys have seen Star Trek. You know, if you have and you're familiar with it, it's my favorite show when I was growing up. And one thing I loved about it was, you know, they had some complex challenges. One of the problems they had was communicating with alien species like Klingons and Vulcans. But thankfully, due to modern technology, they were able to use the universal translator, and now they were able to communicate as we're communicating today with other species. However, a lot of times you might feel like you're communicating with alien species when you're working with all these different systems for your clients, and they're all discombobulated and not easy to work with. And a lot of times you might be sitting there in the middle like this person trying to cobble together data from multiple systems, which is challenging because a lot of times these systems talk in different ways and you need to get them to work as if they were made to work together. So you might be cobbling together data in Excel, you might be moving data manually into QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. All of these problems are challenging. What we do is we make all of these systems speak the same language, from your social files, collaboration, ERP, big data, accounting, finance, CRM, and marketing. We specialize in the accounting finance part, and we literally connect to every major accounting system. So I'd like Dan to kind of talk about just some interesting use cases here to kind of unravel that a little bit for you.
So should I do this like William Shatner? So here, start 8. So you know, the 160 systems is very daunting. So like you know, kind of thinking of this in kind of real world scenarios, right? So let's say you want to integrate your Gmail with your Facebook, and that contact information, you want to send that to MailChimp, or get information from your YouTube channel and send that to MailChimp so you can start, you know, an email marketing campaign. So Autymate, right, will allow you to do that, right? You'll be able to synchronize those systems. So you don't have to copy paste or you know, however you would be doing it now. Autymate will then be the hub of all that and allow that then to push into QuickBooks as well, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. And you know, if you've got a Magento e-commerce site and you're using Salesforce as your CRM, and then there's an Excel spreadsheet that's being sent to you every so often, again, you can set up Autymate to literally automate those processes and synchronize it into QuickBooks. So one thing I really liked about you know, QuickBooks or Intuit's mission is to be the ecosystem of small business. And I kind of liken that to you guys in that Autymate is the ecosystem for apps and systems that are out there that can kind of pull that all together, right?
That's right. Awesome. Well, I guess we want to handle the first poll question here. I'm sure you guys find that a lot of your clients have more than one system. Typically, when I work with a client, they might have 5 or 6 systems, like an accounting system, a CRM system, an ERP, you know, also a marketing system. So, you know, we just want to poll you and see how many, you know, clients do you have that need to integrate with multiple systems.
And this is just in terms of just number of clients, not necessarily how many systems they have, but just the number of clients that you currently have. Let's see here. So somebody asked a question, and this is a really good call out, Brian. Is Autymate like Zapier?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are like Zapier in the fact that we connect to a lot of different applications, but we are different than Zapier because Zapier does one record at a time. So let's say that you want to import, you want to say you add a new customer to your CRM in Salesforce, and you want it to create a new customer in QuickBooks. Well, what about all those 1,000 other customers that you have in the past? Well, those can't be added because there was not an event that was triggered. We can actually go and connect to the full API application program interface and pull in all your customer data and pump it in there and also keep it in sync. So that way you can have a true sync of all your data, apples to apples.
Yeah, and I
That
think
is amazing.
when you get to the demonstration, we'll be able to actually see under the hood and see what that integration actually looks like. And I'll let everybody know up front, it's not scary.
Okay, so here's the results of our poll question. So some of you have none. Some 40% have 1 to 2, then 23 have 3 to 5, and 20% 6 plus. One of the things that I would like to let you all know is that this tool, Autymate, can help you to learn to identify the scenarios and the clients and the benefits from using Autymate. So this is a great opportunity for you to expand your services at a higher value of services and increase your revenues for your practice. So thank you all for answering that question. Brian, we need to see your real screen. There we go. Thank you. All right, continue on.
So we have basically one of the things that we've done is we have a product that connected to 160 systems, and there was we can been in the enterprise space, so we have enterprise features for building applications integrations. And so one of the things that we realized when we got into the accounting market in November last year, when we kind of really focused on this, we have a lot of cool tech that kind of really handles a lot more complexities than this industry, this space is used to, because healthcare has a lot of complex needs. But we needed to unbundle a lot of our features so that users could really see it in a very simple way. It's very, very intuitive. So we are launching one of 15 products. We're launching the next over the next year and a half. And so this is our first. We're probably going to be launching a new product one per month, or be more accelerated a little bit further next year. But this is one of the first that we're launching. You're going to find it in the App Store sometime mid-October. We will let you know as soon as it's released, but you can purchase it sooner than that. But we're going to be able to put your accounting on autopilot, and so you're going to be able to get the data easily in and out of QuickBooks Online. So it's called Autymate Transactions for QuickBooks Online. So, if you spend a lot of time manually moving data in and out of QuickBooks from Excel files and Google Sheets or CSVs or tabs or even XML or JSON files, you might not know what those are, but you may. If you are, you'll be happy to see that we can import those and export those into and out of QuickBooks Online. So now the days of manual data entry are over for you and for your clients. Some of the cool features that we have is the ability to make these into templates that you can share with your clients, and they can automate that. You could give them, let's say, a Dropbox folder or a Google Drive folder or a Box folder that they could drop a file in and immediately gets processed. Then you don't have to have the email from your client and remember to upload once a month, and you've got so many other things going on. You can just say, hey, we automated this for you. Here's a link. Drop your file in this UI, or just drop it into SharePoint or any of these different things, or FTP server. It'll automatically schedule and pick it up, making this your life easier. And we're going to be able to connect to virtually any type of file that you might have, and be able to get that data in and out of QuickBooks, so you can do what you need to do, like delete transactions, modify transactions, get rid of erroneous data and modify the data rapidly. Get real-time edits, right back to QuickBooks, and then export transactions. And we also have a management portal, so you can see every single error or every single thing that may not have gone in because of an issue, and you can easily fix that. And you'll see how simple this is in just a minute. So we support a lot of different types of transactions, any type of customer transaction, vendor transaction, some of the others. We literally support 99% of everything that you can do in QuickBooks. Anything that we don't support is just not in the API, so we can't add that, but you can even do vehicle mileage, and we have all the list data. So virtually everything you need to migrate from one QuickBooks file to another, from another system, to automate your creating sales receipts from a file for a client. So how does this work? Well, it's really simple. You just select the transaction or list that you want to import and say, hey, I want to create sales receipts. You import the file, and then it runs and validates it. And then you can also, it saves it as a template, and you can reuse that or share it with your client. So you might be asking, what makes you different, than some other companies out there that may be allowing you to import files? Well, we have a lot more functionality, especially for the price. You're not only able to import and export, but you're also able to modify and delete. You can also have write back functionality where you can have a UI where you can just write directly back into QuickBooks Online or other systems. You can have automatic file pickups and drops, or give your client access and they can upload themselves. We have text and email notifications. We even have advanced features where you can use like a query builder to build a new queries to grab data, and it's really easy to use. Plus, we have 140 potential integrations that you can leverage on top of this product. So the best way to really move forward is give you like a use case or a problem. Now, Mike, as you might know, if you are a QSP with QuickBooks, they have a commission structure where they pay out on a monthly basis for your commission for like QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop sales. And I've talked to a lot of CPAs and accountants, and it takes them about an hour to 2 hours per month to manually copy that if you're really want your books accurate and you want to know, where your commission's coming from. So they have to create a sales receipt. That takes a long time. What we're going to do is in a fraction of the time it would take to just enter your sales receipts, we're going to automate that process in less than 3 minutes. And then obviously I'm going to talk through it, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm going to show you how you can do it in less than 3 minutes. And on top of that, how you would be able to do this for your clients. And this is just a simple use case. There's 1,000 other use cases you could probably have for getting data in and out of QuickBooks. But what this is going to do is eliminate that manual entry for any accountants or CPAs to enter this commission file using Autymate transactions for QuickBooks Online. So let's just walk through the simple workflow here. Basically, we're going to take your sales receipt workflow and basically automate that. So you're going to receive an email with commissions or report data, and it's an Excel file. You're going to download that Excel file and upload that into the Autymate platform. Then you're going to automate your transactions with the platform really quickly and easily, so that you can basically go from 2 hours to 3 minutes, and then you also hand that off to your client, so it's really easy. So we're going to be able to turn hours into minutes. So let me just start.
And that's what I love. Seriously, that ability is just so amazing to save us significant amounts of times as well as our clients. I mean, that's where we can make a huge difference to our practice as well as our clients' business. And that's why I think Autymate is so incredibly helpful for us as accounting professionals.
So I'm going to basically just show you our website real quick. So this is Autymate.com. You can go to products, and this is the Autymate transactions for QuickBooks Online product, and you can look that up right now if you want to see the details. And what I want everyone to do is sign up for a free trial. We're going to be doing a 30-day free trial. You can click on Start Free Trial here, and then all you need to do is just enter your contact information and just say, free trial. Okay? And if you send that to us, we'll put you on the list and we'll send you a free trial so you can get access later next month.
And so, Brian, could I add something in there?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things, if you all are like me, free trial sounds great, but wait a minute. If I'm importing things into a QuickBooks file or a QuickBooks company, what if I get it wrong? What if I do something wrong? And that really scares me, and I like to have that backup like we used to in desktop. Back up the company file before we would do things, so if something went wrong, we could restore the backup. I want to make sure people realize you can do that with QuickBooks as well. You can use something called ChronoBooks or Rewind or a number of others. It's allowing you to create a backup or a restore point so that when you sign up for this free trial and you do want to test it out and things, that you could go through and test it without fear, or you could create your own testing company using Chromebooks or Rewind. You can create a backup and restore it to a new QuickBooks test company, like a free trial there, so that you can do your testing in a safe environment without fear of messing up live data.
And is there an option when you do import or write something in to undo what you've done?
Yes, there is an option to undo.
Oh, okay.
So
Great, thank you.
Undo, update those options, and we're also updating this regularly. You're going to be able to have new features and functionality very quickly. So I just want to give you guys a high level. Autymate does two things really well. It builds integrations and it also builds applications. So we are, rolling out some report builders in the near future. So keep a lookout for that, where you can build stuff like this using your QuickBooks Online data and other sources. But once again, we're able to connect to a lot of other systems, all these accounting systems, social, REST, big data, network, marketing, collaboration ERP, healthcare systems, CRM, financial, e-commerce, and files. So we've got you covered in that capacity. We're just rolling out and bundling what we currently do in very simple workflows so you guys can get stuff done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus button here, and we have a lot of options right here. It really says, what would you like to do? And so, we can choose, create a dashboard, create a franchise. We just did Jimmy John's. We're doing a few franchises like Financial Force, create an e-commerce integration. We could do a conversion, process a file, or create integration. We're just going to focus on this first product here, which is the processing the file. I'm going to click this button, and basically this is what type of file do you want to import. So I'm going to do a import file, and then you can choose what your source is going to be. Is it going to be Amazon S3, a box, Dropbox, FTP server? We're just going to do a local file drop. And so what I'm going to do is this file, someone from I know it's Jim's. This is going to be his commission file, right? So I'm just going to put commission file, so I know what this is. And then I'm gonna select this file. I think I have it open already, so I can quickly grab it. So I'm just gonna grab this file here. It's a partner program. I'm gonna drag that in here and hit create. What that's gonna do is it's gonna specify the file format. So right here we have, customers. We have, payment details. We can specify what's required or not required. This is basically just saying, hey, this is what this file looks like. So what we can do is hit next, and then you can see all the different connections that we have, right? Which we have quite a few. So we're going to focus on just QuickBooks Online. So we click on QuickBooks Online, and we're going to call this Jim's QuickBooks Online account, okay? And I'm going to click next. I'm going to choose his accounting method because we do generate some reports and stuff like that. I'm going to hit create, and then I'm going to log into QuickBooks. So sometimes QuickBooks takes a second, and then it's going to bring up a screen here. And then I've already had logged in there previously, so it just allowed me to move on. And then now what I'm going to do is click on sales receipt here as an option, but we have all these options. We also have a query builder for anything that's not in this list. So that means like basically the whole API. So you have full access to everything in QuickBooks that's available in QuickBooks Online. I'm going to choose creating a sales receipt, but you can see, just take a look. You got credit card transactions, customers, deposits, employees, estimates, invoices, journal entries. You would just choose the one that you want. And what's really interesting and cool about this is that actually we made it look as close to what QuickBooks looks like as possible. So
that I just want to interject here. That is something that I have not seen in any other option with that's out there, because now you have the screen that you basically going to be seeing as it is in QuickBooks, and with just a drop down, now you can choose where that is going to map to. So that is a huge thing.
I agree, Dan. That is what I love too, is that makes it easy for people like me that aren't a real techie, and it makes it so user friendly. And I couldn't agree more, Dan. I think that is huge. I love that.
Great point, because we're trying to make this as easy and simple as possible for you. And so, that's our goal. We want to be the easiest possible way for you to organize your client's data so you can get things done for them. So what I just did was basically each one of these become drop downs, and here's all the values. What I did was I selected the right values here. So I selected the customer, payment date, payment description, and payment amount, just as while we were talking here. And I'm going to click next. So what we're going to do is now this is going to be a saved template, and we're going to be able to reuse this. So I'm going to call this, commission file, the GEMS commission file. So what I usually try to do is name it the name of the client, to QuickBooks Online, to a sales receipt, right? And then I'm literally just saying, hey, I'm saving 1 to 2 hours per week right now. Okay, so we just freed up Jim, or you can charge them, do value-based pricing and charge Jim for 1 to 2 hours per week, or per month, or however often you get the commission files, right? And then you can also schedule it if you use Box or Dropbox or whatnot, and it'll tell you, hey, you didn't load the file. I'm gonna hit finish here, and so now
Go ahead. I'll ask later. Go ahead.
So right here we have review and validation right here. So notice that there are 9 successful sales receipt entries and there's 1 error. So right here, if we go down here, this pulled the data from the file, and there's an issue here where the amount was actually set as an as. So for some reason, maybe a typo in the file. We're going to make that a number, and then all you have to do is click on import now, and then import everything. Okay, and then you can see all the successful records that were imported. I'm just going to close this out so I can show you some cool stuff in just a minute. We do have the ability to run now. So here's like, let's say you have a ton of like connections for clients. Here's the connections to GEMS file and the QuickBooks Online integrations. Here's that GEMS integration, right? And in the future, you're going to be able to build apps for your clients. So you're going to have all of this ability right here. So I'm going to open up GEMS Commission QuickBooks Online Sales Receipt, and then you see a process dashboard here where you can see that there was a total of it ran 1 time. There was one transaction that was unhandled here. And this is where it gets really cool. What we're able to do is click this button right here, and then it basically holds this menu here. And then I can actually go in here and look at the process history, and I can see that this ran successfully when it ran. So let's say it's automated and it's running every week. The client will know that it's running if you want to share this with the client, or if you want to make sure that these things are running, they're critical processes for clients. We can also share this with the client, and they can upload themselves. So you can literally give the client a login here, and I'll show you that in just a second. And now they can come in here and they'd only see the options that you allow them to do, and then they would be able to upload that file. So now you can literally hand that off to an admin or someone without any knowledge of the accounting system, and all they have to do is get a file and drag it in there. And if there was an issue, it would let you know. We also have text and email notifications as well. So I can show you that in just a minute. But right here as well, we have the file history. You can download the file that was uploaded, and then you also have the ability to get all the details. And finally, you can manage users. So right here, we added in the current users that are in the system that are in your company. And then these all have access. You can change their edit rights to editor or read only. And so I'm going to change them back to an admin. And you can also give them, the permissions that you want them to have. So if you really want to be able to get, some value for your clients, you could add a new user here, and then they would be able to access this app. And what they would see they would just see this one integration, and then they would be able to click on that.
They're not going to see your entire dashboard. They're just going to see what the app or the process that you've just laid out, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
And they can't do any editing or changing or messing anything up, right?
Nope. You're good to go. And basically, in the user management screen, you give it the access rights you want to give them. And so, if you want them just to be able to upload the file, you can do that. And so now the client can get in here, and they wouldn't see all of these options. They would just see the upload option. And then instead of you having to upload the file, you'd be like, hey, client, I have something really cool. I've got a cool cool app with Autymate. We automated this for you. All you have to do is go in here and just upload your file now, and all that you just saved 2 hours. You know, and they're going to love you for that. So now you don't have
Yes,
to.
that is amazing. So Brian, in your demo, which I love seeing how amazing it is, in your demo you mentioned that you can just drag and drop a file like from Box or Dropbox or something. So Tammy had a question: how secure is Dropbox, Google Drive, Box, etc.? I'm looking for a secure way for clients to send confidential information.
Yeah, so it's a great question. So I'm going to go back here and go into process file and click on import file. So you know, each one of these has their pluses and minuses. FTP, if you click on FTP, we have SFTP enabled. So if you have SFTP enabled, you're going to be able to, it's very secure. Google Drive is very secure as well. We do a lot of stuff with healthcare. And so we do a lot of stuff with, you know, PHI data. And so we would use Google Drive in those cases. S3 is very secure. You know, Box and Dropbox are good. You know, ways to share the data. What you do in that case is you share an individual folder with that client, and that client can only access that one folder, and then they would be able to upload to that folder, and we would be able to process that automatically. And so it would be a very secure way of doing, a whole lot more secure than email. And you know, to be honest with you, we usually use SFTP for healthcare clients, and then we'll use Box and Dropbox for accounting clients, just because it doesn't have to be as rigorous.
And so Brian, SFTP is Secure File Transfer Protocol?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Okay. And then also Larry had a great question. So I love Autymate. I'm going to use it. Is this a client-specific application, or can I, as a pro advisor, use one installation of Autymate for several QBO clients? Like, how does that work? Do you buy one for each client, or one for all, or can you tell us how that works?
Yeah, so what you can do is you can buy, we charge per user and per client, okay? So per client file. So it's $3 per user, right? So you'd have your account, and then we charge you $3 per client file. So then you can add, you know, 15, 20 accounting files, and $3 is not that much. So let's say you have 3 accounting files and 1 user, you're looking at $12 a month. And so you can, you know, when you're done with an integration or connection, it's super simple. You just go over here, and if you say, you know, I'm done with this connection, I don't need any more, you just delete that, and then you go down to $9 a month. So, but so you can,
so
and go ahead.
The thing I thought about your pricing was, oh my God, it's that affordable to save, like you said, hours to minutes. I mean, I think that's huge, and I think you've done a great job of setting the price point to where it's very affordable. And I mean, the benefits you get from that and the time saving is just huge.
Absolutely. Plus, I mean, we want you to grow with us. So as we launch, like all the features that we've kind of built enterprise applications with for large companies, we're going to be rolling that out, and we're basically bringing what low code, no code, if you guys are familiar with that, meaning this has been unaffordable in the small to mid-sized business. If you wanted to get a low code, no code platform, you're talking $100,000 for your integration platform, $100,000 for your low code app builder, and then you're looking for specialists, right? Where we fit in is we have all three in one platform at like literally like a fraction of the cost. And so we're bringing low code, no code, and we're empowering CPAs and accountants. So we want everyone to sign up for the newsletter, because we're rolling these things out fast, and you guys are going to be really empowered, because we're turning basically accountants who know the client's data into developers. And so that's a really good like kind of next segue here, where I can kind of talk about what you can do with Autymate and what we're rolling out here in the future.
Can you tell that story of how you came in and it took like 3 people's work and you solved it in just a matter of like 30 minutes?
Yeah, so this is a healthcare company. Like we're basically taking low code, no code to your space, and they had 3 different systems: Salesforce, SharePoint and a proprietary call center database. And they had a problem where they were having to have their call center employees have to make switch between 3 systems. So Salesforce, SharePoint, and that call center database. And so their calls were taking 10 minutes. And they brought me in and said, hey, we'd like to check out Autymate. And so we did a demo for them. And we just said, well, let's just connect to your system. So we picked out, on here, we went in here and found Salesforce, right? And then we found, SharePoint, right? And then we went into their proprietary SQL database. And then we just created logins for it. And then we built an application. And on one screen, they had their customer orders from one system, their inventory items from another system, and the chat and support information from another system. And they were actually, we had built that in 30 minutes from scratch in the demo. The senior engineer that was on the project that I was talking to said, wow, you just built a product that's some of the one that we built. Took us a year and a half with 14 engineers and built that in 30 minutes.
So let's talk about phenomenal. Value pricing. And that's the thing I think that's so amazing about this tool is that once you learn it, which is very easy thanks to how well you've built this, once you learn how to use this, you can do amazing, amazing work and projects with this. And this is definitely value pricing. We're talking, thousands of dollar projects here. We're not talking hundreds. Thousands. And so, Brian, I have a specific example for you or a question for you. Can this be used for apps outside of QBO? For example, whoops, my question just moved. For example, can it connect with e-commerce sites and bring over sales transactions? For example, can it sync sales from Amazon to QBO? So do you want to talk about that a little bit? I think that leads into what you were getting ready to talk about coming next, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you can do is we're rolling these new products out. So just think of these as niche products that do one thing really well, because what we were doing was charging for the whole platform, and we kind of made a lot of people's head explode while we talked about, hey, here's what you can do. And we found that in order to really resonate with this market, we really needed to take a step back and really simplify. So what we've done is we're unbundling the current features that we have and coming up with very competitive pricing, okay? So like I said, we have 15 apps rolling out. It might be more than that. But what you're gonna be able to do is you're gonna be able to, say, hey, let's say someone wants to do an e-commerce integration. So they can come in here and they say, well, what e-commerce platform do you wanna use? Well, we've got Volusion, okay? All right, well, let's go through Volusion and we'll get connected to their Volusion account. And then you can say, well, how do you want to connect? Let's just use QuickBooks Desktop for this because it just less options.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking, does it work with desktop? Does it work with desktop? So now you just answered that question in one fell swoop.
And so we're doing QuickBooks Online first, and then we're rolling out QuickBooks Desktop thereafter. So if you're interested in QuickBooks Online, let's go with the QuickBooks Online app and then sign up for our newsletter. And then once that's ready, it'll literally be an option for you in the app. So I'm going to choose QuickBooks Desktop, hit create a connection. And then how do you want to import? Like, what do you want to import from the e-commerce platform? Well, I want to create sales receipts. Okay. So then you can choose the items that you want. You can choose daily or transaction based. We'll do a daily summary. We'll choose nightly. Well, but let's say, yes, we do have the products and QuickBooks are ready. It's by product name. I'd click next. And then you do your chart of accounts like this. And we're going to be rolling this one out early, later this year or just in January, most likely. And then you can actually choose the Sku Mapping. So let's say that one system has large filter, this one has LG filter, and then you can actually map this for the client. And now, how much time are you saving for that client? I mean, think about it. You just automated their entire e-commerce, in less than 3 minutes? So, I mean, think about the value-based pricing here. So
Exactly. I mean, that's so incredible to me because you've got all these clients that have set up a shopping cart here or shopping cart there, and they've got things, but then you don't have that link to get the data into QuickBooks. Or maybe they're using a point of sale system in a restaurant, and that doesn't talk to QuickBooks. This is just like you said, it's so amazing how creating that link, the significant amounts of time that it saves, plus you don't have data entry errors, and it is, like you said, a perfect opportunity for value pricing. It's just amazing. So what I'm going to do, though, Brian, is we kind of forgot to do poll questions. So I'm going to launch a poll question now. How many hours do you see this saving you in a month? Saving you or saving your clients? Start thinking about some of those clients where you have to do a journal entry to get the sales and the deposits booked into QuickBooks, or you have to do some manual, daily sales receipts to get the information in there from a point of sale client or something. Think about some of these situations where you could use and implement this with some of your clients to streamline their processes or workflows in addition to within your own firm. And so Brian, does this convert PDF bank data into importable files for QBO?
So we do not do OCR right now.
Okay.
Character recognition. We focus only on data sources that have files or database or APIs.
Okay.
But you could find some way to convert that PDF into a file or convert it into an Excel file and then bring it in, right?
Yes.
You make like a multi-step process.
And there are tools. So for some of us as pro advisors and accountants and stuff, sometimes the client, all they have is PDF bank statements or PDF credit card statements. We do not have to input the data manually. You can, like Dan just said, there are tools like Money Thumb and other ones that will convert the PDF into a file, which you could either input or import then into QBO or into Autymate and into QBO. So if all you have is a PDF, that still doesn't mean you have to do manual data entry. There's no reason to do manual data entry anymore. Almost never. I mean, we've got the tools and the technology to import that data and get it into QBO. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this poll question, and I'll just share the results verbally with you. We have 51% say 1 to 4 hours, 23% 5 to 9, 14% say 10 plus. And I would venture a guess, the more you all get to know this, the more you'll realize the opportunities for using it. Pretty soon the bells and whistles just start going off. Oh, I could use it here. Oh, I could do that. This client can benefit from it. Oh, this one would benefit. You'll see lots of opportunities for this. So great. Brian, if you want to go ahead and continue.
Absolutely. So let's talk about pricing. We have a 30-day full access trial where we give you guys the ability to connect to a company file, import, and full functionality. And so we are signing. We'd love to have you guys join the list. Like I showed you on the website, just say you're interested in the demo. We'll put you in the list, and when we have that link for you to get access, we'll send that out to you, and you can get access for free and try it out. Once again, it's $3 per user. So if you have a team of, like, say, three people, you might have 3 users, and then they can all add all your company files. Let's say you have 10 clients, then you can have 10 company files, or just 2 or 3, however many you're actually automating. And then so it's very affordable. And if we just save you 1 or 2 hours of time, I mean, that pays for itself, you know. And so, I mean, even a fraction of an hour, like 15 or 20 minutes, would probably pay for just 1 user and 1 company file. So
that's amazing. And so Brian, we had a question. Is the pricing the same for desktop and online?
So for online, it's $3. For desktop, we haven't rolled pricing out for that, but it'd most likely be $5 or somewhere in that range, because it's just harder to deal with because of the fact we have to install a tool and manage that.
Okay.
So, yes,
and then another quick question: does it work with Canadian taxes? You know, they have the GST and HST. Does it recognize the sales tax for Canadian?
So that's a great question. So we basically support the full API of QuickBooks, and QuickBooks has multi-currency, and so it would handle it when you import the file. It would, so if you had to do like a conversion or something like that, we could, manage that. But yes, I mean, you have the full access of what's available from QuickBooks available to you.
Is it only the U.S. region, or is it the other regions of the global areas of QuickBooks as well, like QuickBooks
All
Online?
the global areas. However, we don't change the language in our site yet. So you
Okay.
still, it'd be in English, but you can process, it would still process transactions just the same. And if your file was in another language, it would work just fine.
So, Brian, we did have a question. How is the security?
So that's a great question. So we have been in, like I said, healthcare. So we have a lot of big healthcare clients. In fact, we have our services installed in hospitals all over the nation, which means we have to go through security audits. We're HIPAA secure. We've got a third-party client that validates us for HIPAA security, which is a lot more stringent than a lot of the accounting requirements. We have third parties that validate us. We use all the best practices that like Google uses, like OAuth security, SSL connections. So you're looking at the same methodology we do for our healthcare clients, we're doing for you. So it's very, very secure.
Okay, great. And another one for you, Brian. Let's say somebody's got a lawn care company using Yardbook. Would this work to help import invoices from something like that, like Yardbook?
Yeah, so if Yardbook can export that into a file, you could have two options. One, you can just open up the UI and drop the file in there, and it's done. You can also, set it up with Dropbox and drop the file in a folder, and then it automatically processes. You don't have to do anything.
So from Yardbook, let's say it doesn't have like export data. Could you print a report of the invoices in Yardbook and turn that into a file that you could use?
Yes, you could absolutely do that. Yes.
So something as simple as I'm using Yardbook or some other specific software that the client might be using for sales. So they're using Yardbook. If you can create a report that lists all the sales transactions for the month or for the week, then you can then integrate and pull that in and import it into QBA, right? Or QBO,
That's correct.
sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
See, that's what's amazing, people. This is so cool that, I mean, these specific examples, I just love it. So Brian, we got lots of people saying, how do I sign up for a demo? How do I sign up for a demo? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this question here. What would you all like to know more about? The referral program, the affiliate, free trial, or maybe it's not your cup of tea. So answer that also. We will share the questions with Brian and Brad. So if you could go ahead and type in there, I want a demo. We will have them reach out to you and contact you to schedule a demo where they can go over things, right? Is that okay to do that, Brian?
Absolutely. And we'll reach out to you. And also we have a newsletter, so you can also sign up for that as well. So.
Okay, very good. Then somebody asked, do you start charging after the 30-day free trial, or do you just turn it off after 30 days if they haven't signed up?
So we turn it off. I mean, we would just say, hey, your trial's ended. Would you like to enter your credit card information to move forward? So
Great.
we don't ask for credit card information until your trial's over with and you're ready to move forward.
Okay, super. And I love this. Okay, so Joe, I won't use your last name to protect your identity, but I know Joe really well, and she is very much into point of sale and QuickBooks point of sale, and she's looked for solutions to integrate with QBO, and she's tried this one and she's tried that one, and there's always some kind of problems or issues, and she just shared a comment. Wow, possible QB point of sale with QBO. This is huge. I agree, Joe. That's the thing I'm so impressed with. So, Joe, I assume she's probably going to want a demo with you as well. And we got lots of people requesting that. I'm going to go ahead and close this poll question. And Brian, if you want to go through your last few slides, we've got a few minutes left. And then Brian and Brad have generously offered to stay for a few minutes over. So those of you that would like to stay for additional Q&A, we will do that. And then we have their contact information, so don't leave yet.
Awesome. Well, once again, our website is autymate.com. And if you want to sign up for the free trial, you just go to autymate.com. You click on our product transactions for QuickBooks Online, click on the start a trial and just say interested in trial. And then we'll send you that information so you can get logged in and start using the application. So, yeah, so we do have, what's in it for you? We do have an affiliate program. So if you refer a client to us, we will give you 10% of that spend if we move forward and automate that process for them. We also are rolling out an ASP program, which is Automate Solution Provider, where you will get 20% of the client spend. And basically, you're just managing the client acquisition, the develop the scope of work, collaborating with Autymate to complete the client configuration. And we're going to have a training program launched later this year, so stay tuned for that. And finally, if you become a full-on Autymate reseller, you'll get 30% of the client spend, and you'll be able to handle all aspects of the client experience from acquisition through successful implementation. So you're going to be able to automate a lot of different projects over the next year and a half as we roll out all these features that we currently support in our platform. The best way to get started would be our Autymate affiliate program, where you can basically build trust with Autymate, and you'll be able to be a hero and let your clients see that you're a workhorse. Basically, you can knock this stuff out. And so the benefits of Autymate are going to be able to add value to your existing client base, earn a commission, increase revenue, and we have a dedicated support team as well. So it's super easy on our website, just 1, 2, 3 here, and just go to a partner referral program and just enter get started. And then if you have questions, but this is on our website, how much does it cost to join? It's free. How do you get started? The whole 9 yards, it's on our website, and you can sign up right here to become an affiliate.
I think that poll's actually almost
Okay,
a
yeah,
duplicate.
I skipped one of the polls because we were a little behind. So
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Brian, and we may do one more poll here in a little bit, but continue on.
Yeah, so I want to kind of talk about our technology roadmap. So right now we're launching the QuickBooks Online, which you can access now. We'll be shortly after rolling out QuickBooks Desktop. We might roll out point of sale. So we love your feedback. If you want to see one of our 160 different connections kind of populated on our roadmap, we love your feedback. We'd love to hear what you want to see, because basically we're configuring these options in this simple user interface so that you can onboard your own clients for creating integrations or creating applications. And also, just want to mention kind of like one of the reasons I want you to sign up for our newsletter. If you go to our website, sign up for our newsletter. We are rolling out some really cool things here. So you can just sign up at the bottom here to subscribe to our newsletter. But if you do subscribe, we get to learn about this new feature where you're going to be able to build applications for your clients. And that's where you're going to be able to create dashboard reports and so forth, where you're going to be able to build charts. We've got a series here, and you can actually build these on the fly for your clients from QuickBooks Online and then all the other systems that we're connecting to. And we're rolling that out as well. So please stay tuned as our roadmap unfolds. We've got a lot of great use cases that we can do, because we've got 160 full API connections. We've got e-commerce, CRM, ERP, and so we would love to help you be able to graphically map your clients' data to get things done for them in minutes that are taking hours. We just did one for Jimmy John's recently. They had 12 stores. It was taking a full-time job just to import that data. Now it's completely automated, no touch, and they're able to get numbers like that day instead of once a month. So
Crazy
this
fast.
Revolutionize people's businesses, and you're going to be able to integrate with, Salesforce, HubSpot, Marketo, and other third parties. Right now, we're just rolling out the QuickBooks Online, but we want you to connect with us because we don't want you to be left behind as we roll out all this stuff, and you can really benefit from coming in the ground floor with us as we roll out e-commerce and all kinds of on-premise solutions for QuickBooks Online.
And Brian, I think this is just so amazing, and I love how you've made it so easy, because when you say you can build this for your client, I mean, I'm like, oh, that scares me. I'm not a techie. I can't program. I can't code. I don't know this stuff. But when you do it so graphically with little icons and the way you have it, it is amazing what we non-techies can do to integrate and link all these things together. So I just am so impressed with how you've dumbed it down for people like me to make it incredible. And you've got a lot of people that are really interested. Tammy said this is fantastic, and other people are saying how much they love it as well. So I think that is just great. I want to make sure you all know those handouts have been put in the GoToWebinar toolbar. They're also in that OneDrive folder. I will double check that, because you've got their contact information right here, but you also will have that in that handout, so you've got that available to you. But we do have time for some additional questions. We are getting some feedback, Brian. A couple of people, I think we got so many people going to your website at once that it might be a little slow replying and responding, and we're kind of overwhelming your website, I think.
Oh, well, that's a good problem to have, I guess. I haven't tested with 100.
Yeah, so if you all are having problems, just wait a few minutes and try again. Another quick question, though. Can you connect Zoho Forms data with QBO?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And yes, we can. But here's what we're doing. We're rolling out like the functionality that you desire, the community desires, and we're basically rolling that out in a way where you can be empowered to do it yourself. And so by doing that, we are learning from this space what connections do you want. You know, what we'd love to do is you email our use case. Let's say it's the point of sale or Zoho or one of these use cases, and we get 3, 4, 5 people say, hey, we want this. We will convert our roadmap and say, let's do the point of sale, because we have 10 people interested in this functionality, and then that will be moved up in our roadmap, because we literally have 15 plus applications we're rolling out from QuickBooks Desktop, point of sale, and then even in other accounting spaces like Sage and NetSuite and so forth. So we want to hear what you want, because we already have the full connection to all these major CRMs, and so we would just figure out what your needs are in that space. So just let us know what you're desiring, and we'll put that on our roadmap so you can log in and access that.
Wonderful. So Darius says, this will allow me to repurpose my data entry staff. Excited. And I think that's what it's all about. For us as accounting professionals, the bookkeeping and the drudgery and the data entry, it's being replaced and automated. And that's where Autymate really can help you to move beyond that data entry. And so he's saying I can repurpose my staff, and I love that. I think that is great. And then they want to know if you will be at QuickBooks Connect, and I assume you are, right, Brian?
Yes, we'll be there. Yes. We don't have a booth there, but we will be there. Yes.
With your shirts on so we can find you?
Yes.
And, okay, and do you all provide training? Like, let's say I want to do this. How do you help me get started and know how to do this?
That's right. So first thing we're rolling. So one of the things that we're doing is we're empowering you to become a developer. So we're rolling out training programs. So we're doing video. Now this file processing product is going to have video training for you to do. Okay. And so that's why we took a step back when we really moved in this market, because we said, okay, look, we have all these features, we all have all this functionality. How do we empower our CPAs and accountants and bookkeepers so they can do the job of a developer, and they can be empowered because they have the power? Because honestly, the power belongs to you, because you understand your client's data, and the amount of time it takes for you to communicate to me what you need, you could have learned our system and been able to do it yourself. And that's our goal. And so being that, our long-term goal is that we are rolling out training programs which are available through our website. If you're on our newsletter, we'll be notifying you of when that's available. And our first training program is going to be step-by-step how to automate importing, exporting, deleting, and modifying data from QuickBooks Online. And then after that, we're going to roll out another training suite for the next app that we're rolling out. That way we can really focus on empowering you, and you know what's possible. And so, and once again, we want you to stay informed, because we're going to be rolling out all this functionality we've already built. We're just unbundling it and giving it to you in a really nice package to empower you. And so you're going to be able to have that functionality in a video and documentation where you can search and find answers.
Yeah, I'm envisioning Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when those kids just went into the candy room for the first time, and all these accountants are running around looking.
Yes, and Dan, you're like a kid in a candy shop. You love to play with this and do this and things. What has been your thoughts and experiences as you've delved more deeply into it over the past few weeks and months?
Every time that I get to connect with Brian and Brad, I am just blown away by just the possibilities that are out there and available with in a one-stop shop. You're no longer having these to piecemeal Frankenstein together. You can join it all together and even use Autymate to create some dashboard reports. So now you've almost got like a custom database, report builder.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, the large companies had these ERP systems that were hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. In the past, large companies had these ERP systems. Well, now we have these small businesses that might be using an app here for their business or an old program here, and they're using QuickBooks, but none of it talks to each other and stuff. Now, Autymate makes it possible to do those integrations to create a very powerful system for these small companies at a fraction of the cost, and it allows us to be able to really transform ourselves into, dare I say, a programmer or an integrator. I mean, me, not the techie, I can do it too. And that's what I just absolutely love. And the capabilities of Autymate, it's just mind-blowing what all is possible out there. So I'm really glad, Brian, that you and Brad joined us today. We are getting, a little past the time, and I want to make sure to be respectful of your time. But just one last question from Roberta. What about if you have cash register systems where they're just getting the Z-tape from restaurants? Do you have any suggestions on that, or is there a way to integrate that?
Oh, okay. So when you get those tapes, it's all paper based, right? So if you had, there are a couple options. One, no matter what you do, you're going to be faster entering it through our system. If you're entering it, like putting an Excel file up and have to, let's say worst case scenario, you have to manually copy that data from that sales receipt, and you just put it in a line item in an Excel file and then pop it into our system and load it. You are going to be light years faster. And
Brian, that's exactly what I used to do with some of my clients. Is I had an Excel file and I took their Z-tape and I put like number 1 next to this number, and on the Excel file I put a number 1 there, so they knew exactly where to put the numbers in the Excel file. And I would have them fill out that Excel file throughout every day. At the end of the day, that's part of their closeout procedures. And then periodically, like weekly or monthly, you can import all that using Autymate and get all that into QuickBooks. So it still can help you streamline that process, and like you said, be faster than any other way that you've been doing it.
That's right. And then, we take that a step further and create a template. So now you can have anyone from your office just drop a file, so that they can get things done quickly, And so now when you go in there and you're kind of like, designing how you want the data imported, and then you can go in and finalize that. And send that out to your team, and they can drop a file in Dropbox or Box, or just drop it in that little app when you share it with them. So we've kind of built these in like little component templates where you can have 50 of them.
Awesome. And I launched one final poll question because we still have lots of people on here with us. Just real quickly, what app integrations do you all struggle with? What areas are you finding where you are still doing processes manually, or the client is, what areas do you all struggle with? If you want to go ahead and answer that real quick. Another question for you, can this fix the issues with Square? Like, can you do Square integrations?
So once again, we connect currently to the full API of Square. Now, one of the things is we're rolling out these kind of like these tile operations. You saw Volusion and kind of walk through that process. we're looking for good problems to solve with the 160 connections that we have. Now, we don't expect you to be able to go in there and say, okay, there's, this has, 10 different sections of data, knowing where it needs to go. But we want to know what your problem is so we can put that in our roadmap. So if you do have issues with Square, we have connections to Square so that we can say, well, oh, wow, this client, all they want to do is automate their Square transactions from to QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. And then we would just, it's really quick for us to add these new custom integrations. And so we would just say, hey, we've got 2 or 3 people that are interested in this. Let's roll that out. And then, let's give them really competitive pricing on that. And now anyone that has that problem can go in there and go through, those 3-step process and load it. So we would love to know, kind of what that struggle is with Square. You can email us and say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. And then once we add that to our roadmap, we'll be able to provide that and say, hey, we've got this for you. It's out and you can have access to it.
Wonderful. All right, Dan, any last minute comments or things that you would like to share?
Yeah, if we started talking, I think we'd be, another 45 minutes or so. But yeah, this is just an amazing thing. And as funny, when I ran into you guys at Scaling New Heights and then saw your booth, I mean, you were kind of like tucked away in the little tiny corner, and I was like, I could just spend hours and just, the way you showed things on your device there, it was just like that is so much power and so much possibility in one place, which is great, because then you don't have to relearn other things for things that deal with just one specific thing.
Awesome. Brian, any last minute comments before we end?
Yeah, we just really appreciate your time today. Once again, thank you for signing up for newsletter and demo. And then also, we are going to be the Costco of integrations. So we are going to be rolling out, Square integrations and QuickBooks Desktop integrations. And we want to know what you want to have. What's your desires, so that we can make sure we're building this and making this our goal, so that you can organize your clients' data so that they can get things done. And if you do that, you can do a lot of great value-based pricing and make a lot of money, because you're going to be giving them so much value and automating what they're having to do manually, which is going to be getting rid of the mundane and empowering them to have the answers that they need to make better decisions. So super excited to see what you guys do in the future.
Yes, thank you. That is so incredible. So those of you that are still listening, I would encourage you to write them and send them an email and write down what the current situation is, what your struggles are, what's time consuming, what the bottlenecks are. Let them know, and that's where you can provide great input to Brian and them as well, and you can help them to find solutions for you, for your clients and things. So you've got their contact information. Also, join us in the Facebook group. If you just search Facebook for QB Power Hour, you can join us out there. And I believe Brian and Brad are out there participating as well. And I know a lot of you have said that you would really love to have a demo, so they will be following up with you all. And we will have the recording posted shortly. So thank you, Brian and Brad and Dan and everybody, for being here today. And we will see you around. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.